What's up guys, and welcome back to another insightful video on my YouTube channel. So in today's video I will be making a top-down analysis of a particular trade which I took this morning. Okay, and the key takeaway from this video is to show you guys how I take information provided by the market from the higher time frame to the lower time frame and process it into taking quality trades. Okay, so if this sounds like something that you really want to learn, you might want to stick around to the end of this video. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and leave a comment also in the comment section. Okay, so with that being said, let us jump straight onto the chart and see what we've got for today. So it is always essential to start from the higher time frame. Okay, and so in this scenario I'm going to start from the weekly time frame. Okay, and we can see the weekly making lower highs and lower lows, and so this is my weekly high that made the low. Okay, we've seen that the weekly has broken structure to the downside, right? So weekly we are bearish. Okay, then I'm going to switch to my daily time frame and see what the daily is saying. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we can see price making lower highs and lower lows within the weekly swing leg. Okay, so daily was making lower highs and lower lows until we had this break of structure of the daily. Okay, so we've had this level of the daily taken out. Okay, so daily we are bullish, weekly we are bearish. What does it tell you? It tells you that price will probably be making retracements into what weekly supply levels, where we can look for sales if this weekly supply level decide to hold. Okay, so that is what we have on the daily and on the weekly as well. Okay, so weekly we are bearish, daily we are bullish with that break of structure. Okay, so we've had that break of structure on the daily, so daily is bullish, right? And so we can tell that this was the last point of daily supply. Okay, and so any daily supply that you're going to see up here is going to be a reactive supply zone. Okay, so I'm gonna indicate that right here as a reactive supply zone. So if you don't know what reactive supply zones are, you can watch my video on supply and demand, right? So yeah, so we've now seen that the daily is bullish, weekly is bearish. What do we have to look at? We go to the 4-hour time frame. But before we go into the 4-hour time frame, I just want you to know that right now we are working within this daily swing leg, and so we can choose to mark our demand zones. Okay, we are bullish, and so we're marking our demand zones. So the first place that I'm going to look at on the daily will be right here, okay, as a demand. And the second place that I'm going to be looking at will be right here. Okay, and if I should take my Fibonacci from the low to the high, you're going to see that this candle is right at the 50% of the Fibonacci, right, which makes it valid for me. Okay, and so I've marked that, and so quickly I'll step into my 4-hour time frame and see what the 4-hour structure was saying. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, I can see price making higher highs and higher lows, right? Higher highs and higher lows, and we can see how this level, which I marked from the daily, is in confluence with an H4 demand zone. But in this scenario, this demand zone becomes a reactive demand zone because the H4 put in a new higher low over here, which made a higher high. And so if this level is taken out on the H4 and price decide to retrace and come back into this level will be just a reactive demand zone. Okay, so right now we can see that the H4 is bullish, the daily is also bullish, but then the weekly is bearish. So we can have this two higher time frames of the intraday aligning: daily bullish, H4 bullish. Okay, so this is the last H4 low that made the high, and so we are working within this H4 leg. Okay, we can see that we have more room to this reactive supply zone up here. Okay, and so I need to mark my levels. Okay, so if I look at this candle right here, this bearish candle right here, we can see that it wasn't engulfed. Okay, this candle, it wasn't engulfed. The wick was not engulfed by the next candle. And if I should take this pin bar, we can see that the bodies of the next candle did not close above the wick. But then the next candle over here had its wick covered by the next candle, right? And so it was engulfed, right? And so that is going to be my demand zone on the 4-hour time frame. So currently we can see that price is reacting from it, right? So this is what the H4 looked like. So earlier this morning, price had not yet come into these levels of demand. Okay, so yeah, let's stick to that. And then quickly, let's look at the 1-hour time frame and see what we have. So on the 1-hour time frame, before price would come down into this levels of demand, the H1 was bullish. Okay, so the H1 was also making what? Higher highs and higher lows. Okay, aligning with daily and H4. Okay, and so I personally had my last level of H1 right here. Okay, of demand, last level of demand on H1 right here. And so all trades that I was looking at within this leg was a counter trend trade until this H1 last level of demand got broken. Okay, so switching to the 15-minute, let's see what price was doing. So coming onto the 15-minute time frame, we can see price making higher highs and higher lows, and this was basically the last demand point on the 15-minute time frame, and I had that taken out. Okay, so we've had a change of intent right here. Okay, so it tells us that the 15-minute is bearish. Don't forget, H4 is bullish, daily is also what? Bullish. Okay, but here lies the case, 15-minute is bearish. Okay, that's fine. Probably H1 is beginning a retracement. Okay, so I had two levels that I was watching, which was right here. First one was right here as a decisional supply zone, and second one was right here as an origin supply zone. Okay, and so in my thoughts, or in my anticipation, I was looking at price to give me like a Frankfurt open trade where I can capitalize on a counter trend trade of 15 minutes into any of these levels. Then I can sell to the downside. Okay, but let's see if price actually gave us that. Okay, and if it didn't give us anything of that sort, what could we have also done? Okay, so on the 5-minute time frame, you're going to see something interesting. So personally, I got faked out. All right, personally, I got faked out, and I'm going to show you where that trap comes in. So we had a 5 minute to make this push to the downside, and we had this break of structure. Okay, so 5 minutes was bullish with this break of structure, and so immediately I saw this break of structure, I was convinced that okay, price might be coming in here, then I can look for retracement to the upside, like I said earlier. So I have now had confirmations to look for counter trade to the upside on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so this was what I was looking at. 5 minutes is bullish, right? Internally we had this 1, 2, 3 move. Okay, and we had a break of structure. After that break of structure, we had price retrace into this level, and we had another follow-through break of structure right here. Okay, and believe me, I was convinced after seeing all these things that oh, my buys were set. Meanwhile, it was a trap. Okay, so it was a trap. So after taking me out, my entries were somewhere here, and I'm not going to go into the details of the entries, but what I want you to do is that go onto the chart and backtest that entry. The entry was right here. It gave us a beautiful confirmation to look for buys to the upside, but in reality it was a trap. Okay, so go onto the 1 minute time frame, backtest it for yourself, make notes and get some knowledge, right? So after taking out this Asian low, or this Asian liquidity, which was also a 5 minute low, then I realized that oh, I was reading market structure wrongly. Okay, so after taking out this low, right, I knew that okay, now the leg in which I am working in was from here to here, because now I've had confirmations that my 5 minutes is bearish. Okay, and so the place that I'm going to be looking at will be right here as my origin supply zone, and this particular candle right here, which is a very, very big candle but can be refined. Let's see onto the 3 minutes. Okay, it can be refined to this candle right here. Okay, so we can see that after this push, price comes into this decisional supply zone, and we had this beautiful confirmation right here, and my entries were in here. Okay, so you can backtest that as well. I want you guys to go onto the chart and find out more information about this. I've broken this thing down to the lowest. It's just the entries, right? So go back onto the 1 minute time frame and make sure you are backtesting this, right? So my first entry was right in here for like 1:9, okay, and it was a very beautiful one. And after that, we can see that price made another break of structure to the downside right here. I didn't get any trade over here, but you can still check and see if there were any confirmations right here to sell. You can check that on the 1 minute time frame. But then after that, I can see that price made another follow through break of structure, okay, on the 5 minute. It was a 5 minute push, okay, and price actually retraced into a 5. So if let me switch to the 5 minute and show you guys. So we all can see that after 5 minute breaking structure right here, price retraced into this level right here, okay, and this is where I had another confirmation to take another sell for another 1:9. Okay, so if I get a screenshot of these trades, I'm going to put it on the left side of the screen, right? So do well to backtest these entries because they are very, very helpful. They are going to help you to understand certain things on the market. Okay, so this is where I'm going to end today's video. If you found value in this video, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, please I beg you, subscribe. Okay, so see you in the next video.